Let's begin by taking some deep breaths to connect with ourselves, to connect with our hearts, and connecting on and calling in the Divine Mother, thanking her for the grace and wisdom of her consciousness. Thank you, Mother Earth, for supporting us. And thank you for all of our mothers, those beings that birthed us into this life. And thank you, all the mothers that are out there, single mothers, mothers raising other children's children, and mothers to be, and all of the mothers and ways in which we can mother other little ones. We have animals, and also the inner child within each one of us that perhaps needs to hear this today. So today we're going to speak on affirmations for children, and specifically for creating rhythms. Rhythm is very essential for the well-being of children, keeping them safe and letting them know, on whether it's on a conscious level or subconscious level, that they're safe and supported, that they are so vulnerable. They're being shepherded by us, those who are raising them, by the community at large, and for them to feel safe in their bodies, to know what's next. And so consistency is also really good for children. And so let's go ahead and take some deep breaths together. And this is something that we can do with our children. So everything that I'm offering here for us mamas, for the adults here, is how we can incorporate into mothering, into being with our children. And sometimes the question of, how do I share spirituality with children, is asked, and many ask that. And what I say is creating habits within yourself, connecting with spirit, whether it's outside, meditating, feeling yourself in your body. And these are ways that we can instruct or model for children. So I feel like modeling how it is that we connect with spirit, with the earth, with creation, with that universal divine presence, is how we can share that with children. So it's not something out of the book that we're going to share with them, and yet we're not fully embodying yet. And so it's okay that we're on the process and journey with them, and making it fun, creating ritual around bedtime. So that is something specifically that I wanted to share today, is the rhythm of bedtime. And like I mentioned, thank you all for joining on Instagram right now. So we're creating safe ways, and we're also creating consistency and rhythm in children's lives so that they feel safe and supported in their lives. And so we're bringing in the rhythm around bedtime. And so I feel that it's important for them to know what's next, especially for children under 7 years old. They might not have the concept or awareness of time, which is wonderful because they're operating in the right hemisphere of the brain, of creativity, of imagination and play. And we want to keep children within that range as long as possible, because we get to develop that beautiful side of the brain. And then when it swings over to the other side, then the more mental capacities come online, which is also wonderful. So we're not just mental beings. A lot of times we're identified with our IQ, which is our mental intelligence, but we have different intelligences. Like we have the emotional, physical, spiritual, light. We have so many different. So we want our children to have their fullest capacity of being online, so to speak, within their own bodies, that they don't need technology, that they have the technology of spirit and their own guidance system. So for the evening, the rhythm is so important so that they know what's next. The sun goes down, that's a rhythm, and then they're like, oh, what's next? Maybe they play a little bit before bedtime, and then it's time. The rhythm starts to the energy starts to go, to move in a in more of a downward resting. So noticing when they wake up in the morning, their rhythm, generally is there has high energy, and then maybe there's a little dip, right after noon or so, and then it starts to pick up again, after 4. So noticing that rhythm, noticing your child's rhythm, and when you can work around their rhythm, because their biological rhythm knows best, and so honoring their rhythm. And then when it comes into the evening time, for my son when he was younger, we still read a story, to allow the natural cycle of their energy as it dips to rest, and you're connecting, maybe you're snuggling, and so they're receiving that connection that is also essential for their development and growth, and also your connection with them. Maybe that's the only time that you get to really connect with them in a slowing down, intimate way that it's, that's special, that's part of the relationship that you're cultivating together, that they feel your energy. And that's what my son would say, that he would want to snuggle at night, because he's like, oh, I can feel your energy, Mom. And it's something that we've talked about from a young age, and it's more through experiential. With him, it was with crystals. He was interested in crystals, and so he could feel, and I said, what is that? It's energy, or rubbing your palms together and feeling that vibration that we all emanate, having our unique vibration. And then they are attuned to energy and feel, and that's how they really connect with the world. And so it's just placing words on experiences that they are already living and experiencing at such a young age. So the rhythm, having your own, and bedtime connection, asking them what do they want to take to dreamland. That's been a question that has been here. I don't know how it came up, but it's something that we read, and then he says, what are we taking to dreamland? And made up something when he was younger, that we would take an animal or creature to this boat, and this boat would just kind of ascend up to the heavens, up to the stars, and to dreamland. And so that every day there's a new animal, kind of tuning in to what animal they want to take. And there's just something sweet, and then asking them what they're grateful for, or what they who they want to pray for, or calling in, creating. We had a prayer, calling in my high vibration guides and angels and spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for my life. And then they can go on who they're thankful for, and who they're grateful for, who they are praying for. And then calling in the angels, and the visualization of, imagine all the angels' wings surrounding your room or surrounding your bed, and bringing attention to the breath, so that they're aware of their bodies, that they have bodies, because sometimes they're out of their body a lot of the times. And so just bringing them, put your hand on your heart, put your hand on your belly, put your hand in my hand, and let's breathe together. And so imagine doing that with your child right now, yourself, taking some deep breaths, and exhaling and letting them release the day. A lot of times that's when they've been moving all day, and when they lie down at night, that's when their mind is activated. That's how my son, it was hard for him to nap or sleep, because he would lie down after moving, being a busybody, and then all of a sudden, things would start to come up in his mind. And so helping them release their mind in a way that they can drift off into a sleep in a peaceful way is also helpful. So helping them empty their mind. And how many of you parents have a hard time emptying your mind? Maybe perhaps you're making lists at night. And so this is another opportunity to support you. So it's like you're supporting your child, but you're really supporting yourself in the process. And so for you, maybe you would be journaling, or just brain dumping everything that's on your mind, all of your lists, so that when you lie down at night, you have an emptier mind and you're able to drift off. Well, for them, you ask what were your highlights today? What are you grateful for? What were you grateful for today? And you might learn something new. You might have thought they loved the park, but they're like, oh, when we were reading together, mommy, or you learned something new about your child. And then you have that and you're like, oh, they enjoy that, or you can revisit that and support them that way by remembering. And another, what would you like to let go of, or what were some of your lowlights today? What are 3 lowlights? And then they're like, oh, when I fell and I skid my knee, or oh, and my ice cream fell off its cone and I was really sad, or somebody at school wasn't very nice, or even the way that you're communicating with me, mom, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry that when I was feeling rushed, and I'm sorry for communicating. And so it's a way to be in right relation with one another, with honoring each other's heart and connection, and allowing them to release so that they can go into the dream time feeling more neutralized and ready and safe. And a lot of times kids also process emotions. Perhaps they've been in daycare, or they've been under other people's care and attention. Perhaps they've been at school, or you've been working all day, maybe a little more distracted, and being parenting and adulting and being out in the world. And so it's a way for them to also release whatever. Sometimes they might cry, or they might share. My son would share really, he would cry, or he would share really beautiful, when he was feeling my connection, he would really, it was almost like he was channeling spirit. He would say, oh, I feel God in your heart, mom. Or he would say these at a younger age, like just very clear connections, divine connections. So those are a few pieces there. So, what is your ritual with your child? Maybe they brush their teeth, they take a shower to cleanse the day. It's maybe they didn't get dirty, but just to kind of cleanse the day. Taking care of their bodies, hygiene, going in, reading a book and connecting and snuggling, getting their favorite stuffed animal, that they're feeling cozy and they're feeling safe, and cocooned. And then you talk about, what are your highlights today? What were your highlights? What are your lowlights today? What would you like? What are you grateful for? Who would you like to pray for? Or let's create a prayer together. Thank you, angels. Thank you, guides. And then start creating, affirmations. Something that they can go to bed, whether you're there with them until they're asleep, or maybe you have a different ritual. Some parents like to lie down until their child falls asleep, and others, saying good night. What are you taking to dreamland? And making sure they feel safe. They have questions, that you answer them, and you're breathing, because maybe that you're tired and it's the end of a long day, and so you're reassuring them, and honoring that journey for them, and that you're instilling and modeling healthy habits for them. So let's go ahead and close our eyes, and this is something else that you can incorporate. They're just healthy affirmations for them. So you're closing your eyes with them, and you're asking them to close their eyes, and connecting with your breath, the inhalation and the exhalation, like the rising and falling of the ocean. And as you close your eyes, feeling your body, scanning your body from head to toe, relaxing your feet, and feeling if your mind is really active, imagine feeling your feet and drawing attention to the feet, so it also helps to ground them. So feeling the connection of your feet, breathing into your feet, into your toes, into your ankles. Maybe making sound, and feeling your lower legs, and feeling your knees and your hips and your belly and your ribs and your back and your your chest, in your shoulders, in your neck, in your head. And imagine that you're a little seed and that you're seeding yourself into the earth. You're feeling like you're being pressed into the earth. You're feeling supported and connected to the earth, and that you feel almost like a tree well surrounding you, and that you are falling deeper and deeper into the earth. And as your eyes are closed, between your eyes, gazing up at the stars and scanning the sky and allowing that one star, that bright star in your heart to glow and to call upon you. And with that bright star, imagine that it's calling you home. And you feel yourself connecting with that star, and everything else surrounds and moves into a spiral and a swirl, and it carries you into the star. As you're guided to the star, you begin to feel and hear the whispers of the wind. I am safe, I am loved, I am supported, and I feel myself vibrating like the stars around me. I feel God's heart here so close, it's part of me. I am loved, truly loved, and beautiful. I am the most perfect me, and you can share with them that they are the most perfect. They're the most perfect you, that there's no other you like you. And that you are one with spirit, you're one with the universe, that you are connected to your soul, you're connected to your purpose, you're connected to your heart, you're connected to all the animals and your angels. May you know that you're always loved and supported by mom, by dad, by all of the angels, and that you're held and you're loved. Just remembering who you are as you are lifted up and allowed to be drifted with your special animal to dreamland, connecting with that energy, and noticing how, thank you Spirit, thank you angels, thank you to all creation, so blessed, so grateful, and allowing them to drift off and noticing how that works for you. Definitely let me know. And let it be something that that just comes in easily and effortlessly, and you can definitely write down certain affirmations. But let them be customized, to your child. Maybe it's just a few of them, and they can repeat that to themselves as they're sleeping. So thank you all for joining me today. I look forward to hearing about the bedtime rituals and creating affirmations and a sweet meditation for you and your family to support you in your journey of raising spiritually aware and connected children. So have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.